SRAM. What is SRAM? Static RAM. Okay, so we use these extra transistors to build a cache. A cache is the buffer between the register in the core and the memory. It will be used to hold the data and the instruction. So whenever you need to access the memory, you will first go to the cache and see if the data is there. See, this is the example. Because you have extra transistors, so we build the cache. And when I'm teaching the motivation of why we design the cache, I'm going to say a little bit more about another reason of having the cache. This is one reason. We have some extra transistors. Maybe I can say a little bit. Another reason is because the CPU is becoming much more faster than the memory. At the very beginning, memory is faster than the CPU. So the CPU doesn't need to wait for the data from the memory. But as the transistor speed is becoming faster and faster, CPU is faster than memory. In that case, memory becomes the bottleneck. If you want to have the data from the memory, the CPU will become idle, will wait for the data from memory. And this is another reason we have the cache. So this is the history. How to use the extra transistors. Later of 1980s, we got L1 cache, level 1 cache. And as we got more and more transistors, in the mid-1990s, we increased the number of bits from 32 to 64. So probably you know all the processors, almost all the laptop or desktop you have so far, they are 64-bit processors. What is 64-bit processor?
The register size.
Yes, the size of the register 64-bit, and now the memory space become 2 to 64 bytes. Okay, this is 64-bit processor, and of course the bus, all the stuff, they're gonna increase because now you increase from 32-bit to 64-bit, and of course they're gonna use more transistors, and because you have all these transistors available, and we can have the superscalar processor. Superscalar processor is instruction level parallelism. Have you heard about, I think you have learned a little bit about pipeline before, no? Yes or no? Pipeline. How much do you know about pipeline? Have you heard about pipeline?
Yes.
Okay. What are the 5 basic stages for MIPS pipeline?
One of them is fetching.
One of them is fetching, correct?
Prediction unit? Is that?
No.
No?
No. Prediction unit is more advanced stuff. The basic 5 stage of pipeline is fetch. Means you fetch the instruction from memory and decode. You decode the instruction. Understand what does this instruction mean, like which register you should access. And then you will have the ARU, execution stage. Means you're going to do the computation. During the decode stage, you will have the register read as well. And then we will have the memory stage to access the memory, and then finally is the write back. Write back to the register. These are the 5 basic stages of the pipeline. How many of you know pipeline? Raise your hand. How many of you knows the stuff I just draw here? CPU is composed of register and ARU and okay. This course gonna need a little bit background on pipeline. Little bit, not that much. It's not I'm not saying necessary, but it will be good if you have pipeline background. So I probably gonna spend 1 lecture to give you a brief idea about pipeline, okay? And you can also read the textbook in chapter, I forgot which chapter. In the textbook, it also has 1 chapter about pipeline. If you're interested, you can read it. Okay, so this is about the mid-1990s. But since we still have more and more transistors, in late 90s, we have the level 2 cache. Basically, the idea means you have more and more transistors, so you have one level of cache, and you have another level of bigger cache too. This is a small level 1 cache, and then you have a bigger level 2 cache. Again, the whole idea is still trying to leverage the transistors and also reduce the speed difference between the CPU and the memory. And during mid-2000, we have the simultaneous multi-threading. This is, like I said, what you are going to know from my class. C, SMT, simultaneous multi-threading, and the chip multiprocessors. Chip multiprocessor is multi-core processor, means you have multiple cores in the processor. You see, simultaneous multi-threading and chip multiprocessors, they appear in mid-2000. That's what I said. In my class, you're going to learn something has already been there 15 years ago. Okay, and later we have level 3 cache. So actually, nowadays, how the processor looks like, this one. You have multiple cores, and you have level 2 cache and level 3 cache. And nowadays, actually, the cache accounts for almost 70% of the chip area. Cache accounts for almost 70% of the chip area. So cache really takes a large area of the chip. You see how important it is. And also from this history, you can see how it was introducing into the chip, into the processor. And current, again, we have many core processors, like more than 10 cores in the processor already. And in the future, we're gonna increase the number of cores more and more. This slide take the Intel product as an example, showing you between 1970s to the mid of 2000, you can see Intel product, Intel processors. They are all single core processors, Pentium 3 and even Pentium 4. And starting from mid of 2000, we're gonna have multi-core processor, like Core i7, Core 2 These are all multi-core processors. And nowadays, we have even more than 10 cores in the processor. And the figure here is showing, actually this slide is a little bit old, this figure is a little bit old. We have more than 10 cores already. Power 7, it was a history already. Xeon, I don't know how many generations they already have, but you probably have heard about Intel Xeon before. And in the future, Intel has 80 core Polaris. In this small chip, in this chip, we have 80 cores. From this figure, you probably see that we have this 8 cores, and this one, 6 cores. So this course, topics will be covered in this course. Following 4. First, we're gonna have a review of the performance. Of course, why we introducing cache? The whole idea is trying to reduce the execution time of the program in the CPU or in the processor. So you need to learn some basic equations of metrics for performance. So actually, next lecture, we are going to learn a little bit about those metrics or equations for performance. And then we'll go to Appendix B and Chapter 2 about modern memory hierarchy for the single core processors. And then we will talk about Chapter 5, multiprocessing and the thread level parallelism. I'm going to introduce the SMT is simultaneous multi-threading, and the chip multiprocessor. Cache coherence is just the program I just example I showed here, and the memory consistency. So midterm exam may be between the Chapter 2 and Chapter 5. Okay? And if time allows, I'm going to talk a little bit more about data level parallelism, the SIMD processor. You heard about SIMD before? SIMD? Single instruction multiple data flow? FLINS terminology. No idea about that? Okay. You know GPU? Graphics processing unit?
Yes.
GPU is a kind of SIMD processor. Can give you this idea. If time allows, I will teach a little bit more about the vector processor and SIMD processor, which is very typical example is the graphic processing unit. All right, this is my last slide, and today I'm gonna end it a little bit early. And if you have questions about course or prerequisite, just feel free to talk to me. Okay. See you Wednesday.
Drop the class right.
I can't afford to drop the class. That's not an option.
Yeah. It's funny how blunt she is, bro.
I mean, I appreciate it. A little bit of urgency.
I think it's it might be more of a scare tactic, you know, like.
I taught myself linear algebra in 1 weekend. I can do this. That is true. If I can make it through Dr. Decker's robotics class, I'd be doing it. No review in that class. Man, this work. What do you see? Came back with like 6 figures. All right. No, it says Nashville. Excuse me. Yeah.
Gracias.